I hate to break this up, but I haven't spoken to you since you made your infamous comment saying that people like me need to be perfected. And so I want to give you an opportunity here because, as my good friend, the conservative rabbi Shmuley Boteach points out, Jesus was the faith practice, or Judaism, the faith practiced by Jesus for most of his life, his entire life actually, and he declares in Matthew that whoever goes against the smallest of the laws of Moses, teaching men to do the same, will be named least in the kingdom of heaven, but he who keeps the law of Moses, teaching others to keep them, will be named great in the kingdom of heaven. So, as Jesus said, the meek, not the rude and arrogant, will inherit the earth. So how about embracing one of the great Christian virtues, as Jesus discussed, humility, and apologizing to all those people you offended by that comment?
For one thing, I guess I'm once again responding to the headlines you've read about me as opposed to what I actually said, because what you just quoted is precisely what I said, that Christians believe all of the Old Testament, that we consider our Testament the continuation, the Messiah you are anticipating in your Testament. And if you're going to go around citing all the people I have offended, Alan, I have 1,000 Orthodox rabbis supporting me. It appears to be the same people who hate Dennis Prager who are upset about my remarks. All of these organizations based on, being Jewish, being Muslim, being a woman, they represent Jews the way the National Organization for Women represents women.
I'm up against a break here, but I'm going to challenge your assertion about how much of the Jewish community actually supports you when we get back, which is, I'm sure you'd like to wave that and say that that's what's going on. We'll pick it up in a moment. More with Ann Coulter right after the break. We're back with Ann Coulter. You claim 1,000 Orthodox rabbis support you. I don't know who they are, but I can tell you, the Anti-Defamation League, the American Jewish Congress, and many others have condemned you for that. Do you care?
Yeah, the Anti-Defamation League condemns Dennis Prager. I wear it as a badge of honor. It's like citing the National Organization of Women to tell me how all women feel. The point is, this is the same old fight we see all the time with the irreligious trying to stir up trouble with the religious. Yes, godless liberals are upset that other people believe in God. This is the exact same thing we saw with George Bush speaking at Bob Jones University, and suddenly the New York Times was offended on behalf of Catholics because of some untoward remarks the original Bob Jones had made about the Catholic Church. Not as bad as what the New York Times had said about the Catholic Church, I might add. And religious people just don't fall for it. We know the real enemy are secularists.
So all the Jews offended and upset and hurt by what you said, because words do hurt and they do sting. All those Jews, the ADL,
you don't even know what words I said.
My question out. All of those people are irreligious. They lack religion, right?
Part of what we said.
They lack religion, all those people?
No, I'm saying what this fight is about. You don't even know what words I said based on what you apparently thought was contrary to something I had said.
And I know exactly what you said. You don't want to own up to it. You don't want to acknowledge the reaction to it.
The New Testament is the continuation of the Old Testament. The Christians believe that Jews who practice the Old Testament go to heaven. Our Testament is the fast track because we have the Messiah that is anticipated throughout the Old Testament. As someone said, I heard it was Menachem Begin, I don't know if it is, someone asked him, if you meet the Messiah on earth, what would you say to him? And he said, I'd say, is this your first time? That's what the whole Old Testament is anticipating. Some Messiah, they think we got the wrong guy. I gave a beautiful description of the Old Testament to the New Testament, but it's very frightening to secularists.
You use the classic language of anti-Semitism. However, let me move on here because there's lots of other things to talk about.
Good evening?
Let's get back to Nancy Pelosi. No, it's a classic language of anti-Semitism. You said in the past that women should be armed,
soup?
But
is that a classic food of anti-Semites?
Yeah, that's lovely, Ann. I'm going to move on in spite of yourself and maybe save you from saying something else that's ridiculous.